This is the 6 hours of Sao Paulo.
12 seconds to the car in front, 12 seconds to the Porsche.
Andre, target -20, third lap.
All course yellow. Good job, you are fastest on track.
Know the race winner?
Stay tuned.
For the final round of the 2014 World Endurance Championship, the roadshow arrives in South America, in the largest city of the Americas, Sao Paulo, which takes its name in honour of St. Paul of Tarsus. This is one of the most densely populated cities in the world, and the people here love their sport. The excitement around the Interlagos circuit is building. Renowned for being a narrow circuit with two tight and twisty sections in the middle, what better venue to end a fantastic season's racing? It's a 4.3-kilometre track that's recently been resurfaced, and anticipation ahead of the season finale is high.
To have a round of the WEC here for me is very important. I think for everybody that I speak to, Brazilians, they are passionate about the event, they are passionate about the cars. They are starting to get into the prototype and Le Mans spirit.
Very difficult to handle, very narrow track, so you have to watch out. Slow speed corners with short straights in between, not easy to overtake. GT cars, so a little bit of luck involved.
The history of the track brings something special for a racing driver when you see how many Formula 1 titles have been decided here. The story with Senna.
Bahrain was a great day for the whole team, second and third, incredible. Second and third steps, we're getting a little bit anxious to move to the middle one at some point.
You only have one chance to get your final race right, so I'm trying to just optimize, and I'm absolutely sure that emotions will not have anything to do with the commitment, trying to do the best I can with this great team.
Okay, now let's have a look at the fuel flow meter on the 919.
Yes, fuel flow meter. Fuel flow meter, why? Because in LMP1, one of the key impact of the regulations is about the fuel consumption and fuel efficiency. So it has been decided to make limitation of maximum amount of fuel consumed per lap and the maximum fuel flow of every single engine. To do that, we need to have some specific equipment which are fuel flow meters. And these equipments are on the line providing some fuel to the engine, and they know at every single moment which quantity of fuel go to the engine to be consumed. So on the endurance races, 2 equipments are fitted in one single car. So really these elements are on every LMP1 requested to be located on the side of the car, and they need to be easily replaceable because they are absolutely the basic importance for the regulations of the LMP1 now.
And now the race.
The Brazilians are true petrol heads, and with the legacy of one of motorsport's most famous and inspiring drivers, Ayrton Senna, hailing from Sao Paulo, it's hardly surprising. For the final race of the year, there's barely room to move in the paddock as the fans bustle to enjoy the excitement of the pit walk, where they get to banter with their favourite drivers whilst collecting autographs and photos.
Already here and already on the way to the track. We saw a lot of spectators. It's great. It's fun to be here outside track. I love it.
It's fair to say this isn't just a highlight for the fans. The drivers too enjoy their fame and attention, and despite the pressure of the season finale, they're relaxed enough to share a joke or two. Attention at Audi for local driver De Grassi and Tom Christensen, who will retire at the end of this race.
It's very special. It's all about enjoying, focus, and be fast.
The atmosphere was incredible, and even Darth Vader was collecting autographs. The Interlagos circuit has seen fewer changes than any other over the last 2 decades, and its undulation and technical corners make it a real driver's circuit. The cars make their way around the anti-clockwise course as they line up on the grid for the final time in 2014. The championship are treated to a spectacular flyby from the Brazilian Air Force in tribute to Ayrton Senna, and down on the tarmac is the martial arts style dance of capoeira being performed. The manufacturer's title is in the balance for Toyota and Audi. While they focus on that, the VIPs mingle and the Brazilian national anthem rings out. The drivers take a final few moments to absorb the atmosphere and get themselves ready for the challenge ahead. Current world champion Tom Christensen, who announced his retirement earlier this week, takes a moment for photos and no doubt to savour this moment prior to his final professional race. It's busier than ever on the grid in Sao Paulo. Jimmy Bruni and Tony Villander are on course to seal the manufacturer's title for Ferrari, but they know that nothing comes easy and start from way down in the order.
It will be difficult with others. Our main target is the Construction Championship. Still to be signed, so that's it.
Pole in GTE AM is the Aston Martin 98. Their performance has strengthened as the season has passed and their teammates have sealed the title. This weekend, a win would be perfect.
They won already the championship, but we were really close all the way through, and again really close. I mean, this track has a lot of grip, makes everybody even closer, and we will see how the race will go.
Porsche Mante with the pairing of Makowiecki and Pile still have the possibility of a title in sight, but will have a lot to prove if they're to take that from Ferrari.
For sure we need a small luck to get the manufacturer championship, but we will push until the end, and we saw in the past that sometimes it can happen.
Pole sitters in the GTE Pro are Aston Martin number 97. They are suitably happy with the new track surface here in Sao Paulo and relieved that tyre performance is less of a concern.
I mean, the new surface has been amazing. I think everyone's been surprised about how much of a performance gain we've had, and also tyre degradation has been very low. So it's really changed what the strategy was going to be for this weekend, and I think now the temperatures is rising, that it's going to make it a very, very difficult race for everyone out there.
G-Drive Racing closed the gap in their bid for the title in the last race, and starting from pole today are confident they have the performance they need this weekend.
We have 9 points ahead, but it's still racing. Everything can happen, but mathematically we're the fastest car, so we can win. And to be honest, I don't really think about championship. We just want to win this race.
Born and raised in Sao Paulo, Lucas de Grassi is truly at home here this weekend. And of course, to race in front of his fans is a special moment.
Very tough race, but at the same time very pleasant to be driving here in front of all the Brazilian fans. Definitely we'll miss it next year. I hope it comes back in the future because it's such a special event. The track is really nice to drive, really technical, really difficult, and the battle between the two manufacturers are closer than ever.
Thanks to Tom on the wing of the number 1 Audi as the team prepare to say goodbye to their long-serving driver.
It's probably the best day of my best days of my racing career, and so I just want to thank everyone for driver's briefing, the lap of honor, just by meeting the people in the paddock, and I will follow this championship in future, have more time to maybe speak with the people, so I'm going to enjoy and follow this great racing also in future.
Long-term friend Dindo Capello was happy to support Tom this weekend and reminds us that a driver can never truly retire.
I told Tom we are ready for Le Mans Classic. We have to push with Audi to prepare for us a special car to race again together sometimes. But for sure, what Tommy has done in his career is something special. He's really not a special driver, he's a special guy. And he writes really something special if in motorsport history.
For Toyota, the manufacturer's title is almost in their grasp, but they know that racing, and especially endurance racing, can throw many curveballs. The target remains to win.
We've got to obviously focus on just making sure we get one car to the end as well, if Audi finish first or second. If they don't achieve that today, then we're Constructors champions, no matter what we do. So we might have to judge it on depending on how the race unfolds, but personally, I just want to win.
It's a Porsche front row for the first time at the last race, and on pole the number 20 of Bernhard, Webber and Hartley, who were delighted with their performance.
Pole position was absolutely amazing yesterday. Finally, the number 20 car, we could also get a pole position. It was always very close, but now as a race, it's very important. 6 hours, but if you look, the crowd is there, and you can really feel it's going to be a thrilling race.
Look at this, Porsche's first year back racing. It's the final race of the season and they've made it 1-2 on the grid. P1 for 20. We've seen them in second and third spot on the podium throughout the season, but can they make it the top spot here in Sao Paulo?
We're into the final few moments before the grid will be evacuated and the adrenaline is building. The teams take the direction to make their way back to the garages, and it's now down to the drivers to make the best start they can in this 6-hour race.
We're going to the tire dry switch, so it should be dry at the start of the race. Warming up the tire is going to be very important. Copy that. Keep me updated.
We are starting the formation lap for the 6 hours of Sao Paulo. We are starting the formation lap for the 6 hours of Sao Paulo.
A final reminder then of how the cars will line up, and on the front row it's Timo Bernhard who will start from pole in the number 20 Porsche alongside the number 14 car of Mark Lieb. Row 2 is the Toyota of Buemi in third and Treluier in the number 2 Audi. And behind them it's almost a mirror image with the number 7 Toyota of Alex Wirth starting in 5th and local man Lucas de Grassi 6th. Row 4 is the Rebellion entry of Besh just ahead of the other Rebellion car of Lima, and on row 5 it's Kaffa in the number 9 Lotus alongside G-Drive Racing. Imperatori starts the KCM G car alongside Ladigin in the 37 SMP car, and Manassian starts on row 7 alongside Muka in the Pole GTE Pro Aston. Row 8 sees the first of the GT cars with the 92 Porsche of Mako Viecki starting alongside Brazilian Reese in the 99 Aston. And they're followed by an all-Aston row 9 with Pedro Lamy in 17th and Tim in 18th. Row 10 it's the second of the Porsche Team Mante entries alongside the AF Corsa Ferrari number 71. The teams look on anxiously, and it's time to start the final race of the 2014 World Endurance Championship. The cars make their way down to the start-finish line for the final time in 2014, and as the lights go out, it's a fantastic start for the Porsches as they come down towards turn 1 in first and second, with the 20 car leading the number 14 car and Buemi in the number 8 Toyota challenging heavily for third position. As they make their way down to turn 3, it's a clean start for the World Endurance Championship. We see once again on board with the number 2 Audi, and a huge problem for Ben Trellier as he suffers a power failure.
I had a system error on the car and I had to reboot the car, so I didn't get any power, and we don't know exactly what's happened, so it will be under investigation and our crew, and we will try to understand what's happened. Just a system error, I have to reboot the car.
Well, problems for the Audi, and Trellier now, having reset the system, trying to make his way back up through the traffic as the number 20 car still leads from the number 14 car, and here on board with Buemi, he makes the charge down towards challenging for the second position. Rebellion running just slightly wide there into the corner, and Buemi has taken the position. He's now ahead of Mark Lieb. A comfortable lead there for Timo Bernhard in the number 20 Porsche. Joining now the GT field, and that is Mako Viecki in the number 92 Porsche, who's in third position, and he's closing in on the Aston Martins ahead of him of Muka and Reese. Well, here we join the LMP2 category, and this is the battle for the championship between Nick Manassian and Olivier Pla in the 27 SMP racing car, who's in third just ahead of G-Drive Racing, the 26 car. This is a battle that we've seen continue throughout the course of the season. The two cars have raced so competitively, and it's G-Drive who are leading the championship. Well, back with Mako Viecki in the Porsche number 92, who's closed right in on Reese in the number 99 Aston. And as they come through traffic, the challenge just continues. Back with the LMP cars, and Buemi has pulled away massively in traffic, and De Grassi has closed right in on the Porsche number 14 of Mark Lieb. The Porsche running more downforce here this weekend and much faster through the corners, and the Audi showing that they've got pace towards the latter part of the season. Here back with G-Drive Racing, coming through the traffic then, the slower GT cars just holding them up ever so slightly as they try to close in on Manassian. And here is the number 27 car in the pits. And the team looking to be slightly confused. Will they need fuel? Yes, they will. And back with the LMP1 battle, and Buemi still in second ahead of Mark Lieb as they come along the start-finish straight. Buemi hugging the left-hand side of the circuit and cutting across very defensively down towards turn 1 and locking up as they approach the turn. Will that allow Mark Lieb to come through? No, it won't. Buemi driving very aggressively and very defensively to maintain that second position.
If you are close enough, maybe you can try manual boost after turn 3, just to give it a try.
Of the 37 SMP racing car, it's a puncture as well. They've had the 27 car in already, and it's another front right puncture. Well, the battle continues between Toyota and Porsche, and it's still the number 8 car who leads. Now on board with the number 1 Audi, and we can see the battle continuing just ahead of us as the number 1 car comes into the pits. 5 hours and 11 minutes still remain of this race. And the first round of pit stops well and truly underway. It's a driver change down at the Audi number 1 car. And that's Duval who's just got in and taken over from De Grassi. So the number 8 is in. Second in the motor race at the moment, and just ahead of Mark Lieb, who's also in the pits now, and that looks to be a full service for both cars. So driver change, fuel and tyres, and as they pit, it's the number 7 car who comes in as well. That's going to make the exit a little bit harder for the Porsche, and let's hear from Mark Lieb.
Some parts I was faster, some parts he was quicker. In general, when I was behind him, I lost like half a second of lap time, so we lost quite a big gap to car 20 in front of us. But yeah, the battle was good. I think it was definitely one of the toughest. You know, first time I was battling so hard in an LMP1 car, and with the traffic, it's quite interesting.
Well, the lead car now, the number 20 car, is also in. A driver change for them as well. Mark Webber takes over that car. And as they leave the pits, we'll find out whether they are still our race leaders. There they are coming out pit road. We can just see in the back of our picture, Sebastian Buemi, who is still in second position.
Actually was quite a good stint. We could pull a small gap of 10 or 11 seconds, which is not bad, but managing the traffic is the key factor here. And obviously in Brazil, what do you expect? It's very hot, and it's not easy for the drivers, but we keep on pushing.
And still pushing in the GTE AM, and this is the battle for first position between the 95 car and the 98 car, and just locking up there, Nicky Tim, who's just getting ahead, and he runs very wide and across the corner there and gains the advantage. I'm sure he'll have to hand that back, or it's going to be a penalty. But we join a replay now. We're looking down on the start-finish line and a huge cloud of dust, and that is a massive lock-up and a huge off for G-Drive Racing in the number 26 car. They're heading down towards the centre S's, and look at the top of our picture there. They just seem to lock the braking and go completely straight on into the wall. Well, Olivia Pla seemingly absolutely fine in the car, but need for a full course yellow as Pla desperately tries to see if he can return the car to the pits.
I think we get a problem with the front right brake. We get already a lot of problems with Brembo this year, and you know, it's quite hard to do like that. I hope that he can just start the car and come back to the pits because we can repair it.
Well, the full course yellow about ready to turn green once again, and there is our race leader, the number 20 Porsche. Mark Webber at the wheel of that one. As the race goes green once more, he puts the power down through the centre S's around the 37 SMP car to get a clear track ahead of him and push to extend the lead. Another replay here, and look in the back of the picture there, that is the Aston Martin of Darren Turner and Tony Verlander in the AF Corsa Ferrari, who have had a coming together. Well, they were currently battling for fourth position, and that seems to be the aftermath of that incident. Well, on board with the number 1 Audi, and we get a fantastic view of the battle for first position in the GTE Pro category. That's the number 99 Aston Martin of Daryl O'Young, and just ahead of him, no, he's just behind him, it's the number 71 Ferrari of Davide Rion. Well, they come now to the start-finish straight, one of the fastest parts of the circuit here in Sao Paulo, and this is the longest straight. It's flat out as they head down towards turn 1, and Rion pulls out towards the left-hand side of Daryl O'Young. Can he get past as they come down towards the centre S's? He's closed right in, but he's not got enough in him to make the pass.
So far so good. We're doing a good race. We're a little bit lucky with the timing of the full course yellow. We managed to stop and not losing much time. But our pace is good, the car feels good, so let's keep pushing and see how it goes. So far, we're doing well.
Well, back to the action on track. 4 hours and 28 minutes remaining, and the two cars are now side by side, the Aston Martin and the Ferrari. O'Young and Rees continue to push around the outside of the corner. Rion is desperately trying to find any which way past the Aston Martin to take the lead of this motor race here in Sao Paulo, but he just can't make his way through and take that position at this point. Back to the action here, and we see a replay now. The number 14 Porsche, that is Neil Yarni on board as they come down towards the centre S's. He just about gets ahead of Davidson, but he can't maintain the position as he locks up. And Brendan Hartley looking on nervously for the sister car there. So the number 8 car of Anthony Davidson now ahead, second position overall in the race, and the number 14 car certainly still pushing on the pressure. The headlights are flashing and he's back around as they come through the left-hander there, putting the Ferrari number 71 between them momentarily, and then number 8 gets through as well. So they come down towards the second sector of this circuit. Just see the lake in the background there. A beautiful setting, and the number 8 car once again passed. Neil Yarni now has to try once again to get the position back as they make their way around towards the final sectors of this circuit. The battle for second position absolutely immense in this motor race, and they come around now the final turn 14, to start another lap. And it's the Porsche into the pits. Okay, he almost locks up there and takes out the marker board as he slows to enter into the pit lane. And that's going to allow Toyota to take the lead in the race. Well, they pit as well, just one lap later. And it's Davidson out and Sebastian Buemi in, and more action out on the circuit. We've got a coming together there of the number 90 Ferrari and the 75 Porsche. That's Perodo and Roda.
Was a little bit faster than me. He was catching up, definitely. The engineer told me on the radio. When it was right behind me, I just started to block the door. I know you're not allowed to zigzag, but you're definitely allowed to go one way. As far as I'm concerned, when we entered the apex, I didn't see him at the left front of my car.
The number 27 SMP racing car is in on pit road. They are battling for the championship, and if they need to finish this race to take the title since G-Drive Racing have retired, this could be bad news for the SMP racing team. Manasseh trying to calm the driver down as we now join on board with the number 2 Audi. Remember, this is the car at the beginning of the race. Trenue had the major problem with a power failure, and here they are battling for the lead with Fazler on board, chasing down the young Kiwi Brendan Hartley. They've certainly made their way up beautifully through the field this weekend and showing that Audi are still very much a force to be reckoned with. Well, here is Sebastian Buemi in the number 8 car, and as he comes into the left-hand corner there, he takes a huge moment and a spin, a huge cloud of dust. Well, the drivers this weekend have been complaining about how narrow this circuit is, and it just shows here through traffic how careful the drivers need to be. He turns in, he just clips the front of the Porsche, and that gives cause for Eduardo Freitas to give a warning for driver standards to Sebastian Buemi. Down on pit road, the number 92 Porsche is in. Let's hear from Patrick Pilot, who's just got out the car.
It's quite difficult because the Ferrari, I think, make double stint with the tires, and Aston are really strong. Honestly, when I'm in front, I can stay in front because with this track it's difficult to overtake. But from the pace it's really hard, especially after the full course yellow. It was really difficult to clean the tires.
Well, 3 hours and 40 minutes remain of this 6-hour endurance race here in Sao Paulo, and the battle is on for second position in the LMP1 category. We're looking there at Romain Dumas in the number 14 Porsche, who is just closed down onto Loic Duval in the Audi just ahead of him, and desperately trying to find a way past through the CNRSs. It's a very fast curve, and the camber there really pulls the cars down into that left-hand corner as they go down the very narrow back straight around the pit exit there, and you can see the comparison in speed between the two cars as Dumas passes on the left-hand side of the Audi coming into turn 3 and manages to push ahead. And watch on board from the Audi now. Here we join the LMP battle at the front of the class for third position, and it is Loic Duval in the Audi ahead of Sebastian Buemi in the Toyota. And look at that as they come through the final part of this circuit to head down the start-finish straight. Buemi dives out towards the right-hand side. They've got the traffic just squeezing through there. That is an incredible move from Sebastian Buemi. He's reported to not be feeling very well this weekend, but that's certainly shown that he's still got exactly what he needs to get ahead of the Audis and take command of this race for Toyota. Well, 105 laps completed of an expected 264 here in Sao Paulo, and we are looking at the Porsches. Brendan Hartley leads in the number 20 car ahead of his teammate Romain Dumas in the number 14, and it's a moment there for the number 47 KCMG car. That's Matt Howson, who has simply squeezed the brakes a little bit too hard and run wide on the corner. He's collected the barrier.
We managed to get the car back in. We've had to replace some stuff on the front end, and yeah, we're back out on track now, and thus far everything seems fine. So I guess it's made the race a bit more interesting, so I'm looking forward to my final run now.
At the moment we're a bit on the limit of motor temperatures. We're a bit on the limit of motor temperatures. That's why we're a bit low on boost. We'll see when the temperature drops a bit, but for now, no.
Back with the leaders in the race, and it's still the number 20 Porsche ahead of the number 8 Toyota of Sebastian Buemi, and Brendan Hartley just unable to maintain the speed as they come down the back straight there, and Buemi takes the position as they come into turn 4. Buemi takes command of this motor race. He is leading as we approach 3 hours and just 19 minutes remaining. Traffic then. Buemi flashing his headlights and putting a Ferrari between himself and Brendan Hartley in the number 20 Porsche, hoping to extend the lead and just ease the pressure for just a few moments. Well, the Toyota pit crew standing by, and that is for Buemi to come into the pits, and it's going to be a driver change. So Buemi out. This will be a full service as the two drivers exchange a moment there. Anthony Davidson gets in, and we're back out on track with the number 7 car, who is being chased down by the number 1 Audi. These Audis really putting on the pressure this weekend and showing that Toyota have been struggling with performance just a little bit. It's unusual for a Toyota to see an Audi steam ahead. Well, we are now at the halfway point of a 6-hour race, and it's Porsche, Toyota, Porsche, Audi at the front of the LMP grid, and in LMP2 it's SMP Racing who lead from KCMG. It's Porsche leading in the GTE Pro ahead of a pair of Aston Martins, and it's Aston Martin who head up the GTE AM field. The enthusiasm of the Brazilian fans is high, as here they collect some memorabilia as well as enjoying their time trackside, witnessing some of the most exciting action that we've had so far this season. Well, we rejoin the action on track here at the Interlagos circuit, and this is the battle for first position in the GTE Pro category. Marco Viecki versus Rees in the number 99 Aston Martin, with the traffic of the number 95 Heinemeier Hansen just coming between the pair of them, and I think there was contact between the two Aston Martins. That sent Rees into a spin, and he's had to continue to recover his position. GTE AM, it's another battle of the Aston Martins that takes place for the first position. This has been the story of the season in 2014, with the Astons performing so strong. We join Bernard in the number 20 Porsche, just ahead of De Grassi in the Audi, and De Grassi challenging for position as they come into the left-hand corner and climb up the hill. De Grassi takes the position, and that leaves Timo Bernard back in 4th position and puts the Audi into a podium position at this point in the race. So joining our race leader then in the Porsche number 14, it's Mark Lieb at the wheel of this one. And as he comes in towards the pits, through the chicane that they've got at the start of the pit lane to help slow the cars down. And as he pits, that's going to allow the number 8 Toyota to take the lead. That's Anthony Davidson at the wheel of that car, and he now leads this motor race. Audi in then, and that is De Grassi still in the car. Tom Christensen yet to take a stint at this point in the race, and De Grassi enjoying driving in front of his home fans. De Grassi leaves the pits then in 6th position, with the number 8, the number 2, the number 20 and the number 7 cars ahead of him, while they've only done 3 pit stops to Audi's 4. And that's a moment there for the number 2 Audi. That's Andre Lotterer who's gone off. Let's see a replay from on board with Andre. Just braking a little bit too late into the corner, unable to turn in, and has to take a trip through the grass. LMP2 then, and it's the number 37 SMP racing car who seems to be going very slowly on course at the moment. They've clearly got a problem. They've stopped, and the yellow flags are out. That's not the best place for them to have stopped on circuit, but clearly he's got no power, and he's got to have the car recovered. Well, that gave cause for a full course yellow, and Toyota taking advantage of that to make another pit stop.
3, 2, 1, green, green, green. The track is back to green. We're back to racing. We are back to a full green course.
Well, the race is underway once again, and here the number 20 Porsche with Brendan Hartley at the wheel leaves the pits, and we're on board with the number 7 Toyota of Alexander Wurz. Wurz closing in on Hartley as they come down towards turn 4. The gap is getting smaller and smaller as the Toyotas push hard. They just don't have the same power as the Porsches this weekend here in Sao Paulo. The gap is once again closed down. They're going to use traffic to their advantage here, and this is the beauty of endurance racing. With the slower GT cars and slower LMP2 cars, the LMP1s can use that to place a car between them to pull out the gap. So it's still Brendan Hartley ahead of Alexander Wurz, but as we see on board now, coming down the straight, once again he's found that one moment on turn 4 to take the position, and a fantastic piece of driving, but just not fantastic enough as both cars run wide and rejoin the circuit. Rob Luypen looks on. Well, here comes the number 91 Porsche through traffic of the GTE AM, and as he does, the number 95 car locks up into turn 1 and runs very wide on the exit there to rejoin the circuit. And he has, but he's very slow. Look at that, he's got a puncture on the front left-hand side. That's brought them into the pits. Let's hear from the team in the garage.
I'm not going to speculate what happened. Yeah, that was very frustrating. But I guess we've had such a clean run all season, and we took the championship with a clean run.
The action continues here in Sao Paulo with 1 hour and 47 minutes remaining of the 6-hour season finale. On board there with Andre Lotterer in the number 2 Audi. This is the battle for 5th position in the LMP1 category, and the Audi closed right in on the number 20 Porsche of Brendan Hartley as they come up the hill there. That's steeper than it looks as well when you see it on TV. It doesn't look nearly as steep, and now of course the Audi comes past into the corner. The number 2 car is passed, and that is a change in position for 5th in the LMP1. And duly, the Audi team celebrate. The number 7 car now on pit road. That's a drive-through penalty. That's after they forced the car number 20 off at turn 14, as we saw just a few moments ago. Driving standards a problem for Toyota here this weekend. They've had many offs with the number 7 and the number 8 car. And back on board now with Andre Lotterer once again putting on the charge, trying to get past the number 20 Porsche ahead of him, and he does it. They're side by side down the straight, and Audi just getting the advantage as they come down into turn 4. And that is another position change for Audi, getting ahead into 3rd position. Number 1 car in the pits then, and it's a driver change. Tom Christensen gets in for the final 1 hour and 40 minutes of this race, and this will be his final stint as a professional driver in the World Endurance Championship. The battle continues between the number 7 Toyota and the number 20 Porsche now this time, as Toyota pass and take the position. Down on pit road, and this will probably be the penultimate pit stop of the race, and it's a full service. It's another driver change, Buemi out and Davidson in.
It's been difficult. I mean, we have a tough opposition with the Porsche and the Audis. So we are there. They are just ahead of us, but we will have a good opportunity until the race finish. So we will push hard and see what happens, but we really want to win the race.
Well, Davidson out of the pits now and in the number 8 car and pushing very hard as he tries to put a lap on the number 20 Porsche, who is ahead of him. This isn't going to be a change of position. It's actually going to be a moment where he can lap the Porsche ahead of him. And look at that as he comes up the inside. That's almost a little bit too aggressive from Davidson there. Himself and Buemi driving very, very hard this weekend to get the maximum performance from these Toyotas. Let's see a replay. So it's Davidson right up the inside on the left there, forcing the Porsche to just go over to the right and just taking the curbs ever so slightly. Very, very aggressive from Davidson. When he comes down over the crest on the start and finish straight now, Davidson really driving to the maximum as he comes down through the Senna S's to hunt down the Porsche number 14 and the sister car number 7 just ahead of him over the curbs there. And around towards the very narrow back straight here in Sao Paulo. This is the battle in the GTE Pro between Bergmeister in 4th and Fernando Reis in 5th. Fernando Reis going for the position as they come into the Senna S's. And just alongside him, he takes the position, and there's contact between the two of them. The number 91 car up the inside, and that causes both cars to go off. It looks like the number 91 car will continue. And for Fernando Reis, it looks a little bit more complicated. The final hour of the season now, the 2014 season here in Sao Paulo is coming to an end, and we join now the battle in the LMP1 category. And it's the number 14 Porsche ahead of the number 8 Toyota as they come round to start yet another lap on this short circuit here in Sao Paulo. The number 14 car just pressing ahead of the number 8 car of Davidson, and Yanni just showing the power of the Porsche.
Good job. Do you think you can go one more 31 lap stint? One more 31 lap stint you think you can do?
Yes, I can.
So Davidson will take the number 8 car to the finish, and here on board in the number 7 car with Mike Conway, who will finish that car as he comes alongside Ben Trellier in the number 2 Audi to take 4th position. A fantastic move by the young driver in the number 7 car, and he presses away from the Audi almost immediately. Here's the number 14 car in the pits then. They are race leaders at this point. Let's hear from Mark Lieb.
Well, it has been amazing since the start. It's been incredible. Everyone is going flat out. You can see, with the traffic here, everyone is doing mistakes, going off the track, losing some seconds, battling it out again. It's been really a tough one between us and the number 8 Toyota so far.
It's been impossible to keep up with the position changes between the Toyotas and the Porsche, and here the number 8 car pits for the last time in this race. That will allow the number 14 car to regain the lead in the final 40 minutes of the race. As they come down the start-finish straight into turn 1, there is the switch of position confirmed on your screens. Pit road then, and the number 27 car, after a 16-minute pit stop, is ready to leave the pit lane. And so long as they finish this motor race, they will be crowned champions in the LMP2 category this weekend. Well, we join the leading car in the GTE Pro category now. Stefan Mucker, they're having a strong end of the season this race. Let's hear from Darren Turner in the pits.
Well, we've got another stop to go, so it's very close. I think we need about 45 seconds, and at the moment, yeah, it is about 45 seconds, so it's going to be very tight at the end.
Well, Darren Turner looking towards the final 30 minutes of the race, and it's going to be a tough call for them as they keep that gap closed. And there's a massive crash. That is the number 20 Porsche. That's Mark Webber who's gone off there. There's an oil fire at the back of the car. The back of the car has completely disappeared.
Try and switch the car off if you can. Hybrid off, ignition off, buddy. Hybrid off, ignition off.
Well, the team are talking to Mark on the radio, suggesting that he is conscious and okay in the car there. That's also involved contact with the number 90 Ferrari of Matteo Cressoni, who gets out of the car and is okay. And we see the crash again. Mark has hit the left-hand side, come up the banking towards the right-hand side of the wall, almost exactly the same as his accident here in Formula One a few years ago. And as the car comes to a rest, we just see how catastrophic that accident looked. Well, there is Mark on the stretcher being taken to the ambulance. He's waving, it's thumbs up. He seems okay.
Yeah, I mean, Mark spoke on the radio. What we know, he know his name, he know everything. He looks okay. Just what we can say so far. So for sure, it's a little bit, for us, end of the race, a little bit stressful. Wait and see the last 3 minutes and how it will be.
Well, the race continuing, 15 minutes remain, and safety car is on track.
Wipe the track bed, there's still a lot of debris around, for where the Ferrari hit especially.
I think I got a puncture. I think I got a right rear puncture.
No, it's okay. It's okay, only low pressure due to temperature. Please warm up the tires as much as possible. Pressure are okay.
Following the safety car around the circuit then, it's 14 who leads ahead of the number 8 Toyota, and in third for his final race, Tom Christensen.
Race will finish behind the safety car.
Well, the safety car comes in and the cars will come around to take the checkered flag here in Sao Paulo.
Finally. And the undercut them even nicer during the pit stop. Good job, everyone.
With the news that Mark Webber is okay, it's time to celebrate the win for the number 14 car of Dumas, Yanni and Lieb. And a very emotional looking Yanni crossed the finish line. The team are delighted with their first win in their first season back in the World Endurance Championship. Their performance has improved race on race, and this couldn't be a happier ending.
Oh, finally, that's exactly, first year. On the last race, we got our first win. We've been several times close to it, pole positions and other things. But to now get the win, it's just a relief. I think it made the return and our mission perfect for 2014.
Well done.
Thank you.
This is my last race. And I'm proud of it. Oh, I'm happy. I'm ready for the future. I look forward to be part of it with all the other old legends trying to support you. And again, thank you everyone. Caipirinha, Anto Maluca.
It's third place for Tom Christensen and the team in his final race, and there's going to be quite the party in his honour. A legend indeed. And this legend delighted to relinquish his championship title to Anthony Davidson and Sebastian Buemi. Well, for the duo that wrote history with Audi, it's an emotional embrace. The number 47 KCMG car went on to take the win in the LMP2 category. And it was the number 27 car that finished in second, with Sergej Zlobin and SMP Racing being crowned world champions. The team clearly ecstatic. Third place in the LMP2 category in Sao Paulo went to the second of the SMP Racing cars.
Luckily, Olivier is fine after a big impact as well. That's what matters. Yeah, we would have liked to fight a bit longer, but I'll take the win for sure.
The GTE Am win went to the number 98 Aston Martin of Dalai Lama, Lamy and Nygaard. And alongside them on the podium, it was the sister Aston Martin car number 95, and in third, the AF Corsa number 81.
To finish the championship off like this and seal second, I think it's a very nice way to end it.
The world champions of 2014 in the GTE Am are Aston Martin. In GTE Pro, it was Aston Martin once again who graced the top step of the podium with Darren Turner and Stefan Mucker, not forgetting the world champions Jimmy Bruni and Tony Verlander in the AF Corsa number 51, celebrating with some donuts, as news that they are also team champions comes on the radio. The hard work of the 2014 season has paid off, and the Italian team have done the perfect job.
We are really happy. Thanks to the team, they did a great job today. Thanks to Darren, and it was an interesting season, tough for us, and yeah, next year we will continue.
So it's Aston Martin who win in the GTE Pro. In second place it's Porsche, and in third it's the AF Corsa Ferrari. And finally, to our overall race winners, and Porsche couldn't be happier with the victory here at the Interlagos circuit as the drivers joined Audi and Toyota on the podium. And delighted to celebrate with the legend that is Tom Christensen, who's on the podium for the final race of his career. Toyota are confirmed the 2014 champions in the manufacturer's title. And with Christensen's retirement, Toyota's championship and Porsche's first win, I think the celebrations will go well into the night here in Brazil. Time for Porsche to relax and take in the news of the day.
Important was Marquez's case. It was so terrible, this accident, and 1 hour later, so we win this race. This is absolutely great. It's our first season, the last race, and the win. I think it is great for the team. So we started for 3 years, so everything is new, all the people is new. So it was a really, really great season for us.
A great season too for Toyota, who broke the back of the Audis in 2014, and Toyota are world champions.
And again. I think the most important thing was this year is a fuel consumption race, and we need to adjust our aero configuration to the new regulations. I think we could do the best jobs among 3 manufacturers. We need to start work from tomorrow and to keep these titles next year.
I'll definitely be telling my children and my grandchildren, I hope one day, that I've driven beside the great legends of sports car in all times.
I say that he looks 67, but actually he doesn't look too bad. No, seriously, he's been so good, you know, in sports cars. 9-time winner of Le Mans. And this will probably never be broken. It's hard to see it being broken.
Le Mans 2013 was for me the biggest achievement so far, and winning the World Championship last year, it was also a big achievement, and he's part of it. So I'm only a small part of his racing history, but he's a big one in mine.
I'm a little bit responsible for his way coming into the sports car scene because I've raced with Just. We won in Le Mans, me as young driver. I departed to F1 and then Just team said, we need the same model again, so who we are looking up for? And they said, it has to be Tom Christensen. So he came in and then won 9 times Le Mans.
I'm very sure that when he crosses the line, you know, on Sunday night, there won't be a dry eye in this team, because it is an end of an era. There is no question, it is an end of an era.
Yeah, we love you.
There is no question that he is one of the very, very, very big and rare talents on a race driver, because to win the 24 Hours of Le Mans 9 times, there is for sure quite something behind, and this we are going to miss.
Well, that's it for now. I look forward for Silverstone next year. I won't be driving, you know, too young, too fast, but I'll definitely be there.